Hello, everyone, and welcome to my Thursday Night Live. My name is Marilyn. I'm coming to you from sunny Spruce Grove, Alberta, Canada, where we are having some wonderful summer days, and we're enjoying every minute of it because they keep forecasting rain every once in a while too. So we'll enjoy every bit we can get. I have lots of things to share with you today. Besides the card I want to make, it's another neat, fun fold that I found. And there's a few things. My Frame Violets class is closing tonight. If you haven't registered for that, please hop on over to my registration form, which would have been in my email. I've had it all over the place. And if you can't find it, be sure and let me know. And also, Stampin' Up! Is releasing for customers tomorrow the new hot foil system. It looks amazing. I have mine on order, and I will be sharing it with you when I get it. Looks like there's so many different things we can do with it, so I'm so excited to have that available too. I have some cards from our Christmas card class today to share with you at the end. And before I forget and don't find it, that's the page of what we're making. I understand, Pam, you've got things cut to make with me. I will try and do it in step by step so you can follow along and create with me. And this is last week's card, which, remember, I had trouble getting an envelope to fit? Well, I got that figured out. So the card has been won in my draw by Gail, and the card does fit in the envelope now, so it will be in the mail to you before too long. Thanks, Gail. And just a reminder, everybody who comments, I see on here we have Pam, Roz, Maggie, all of you commenting. Your name will go in a draw for next week's card. So please keep commenting, even if you just say hello. You don't have to say much. I will try and keep an eye on the comments. I'm leaving that screen up for a minute if you do want to take a screenshot and cut the pieces, or you'll have the pieces. Yes, I'm using the Frame Violets paper as well. It's beautiful paper. And in my class, you get the class kit if you want. There's 3 different options. The kit, which is a kit for 3 cards, plus half a package of the designer paper, half a package of the beautiful rhinestone embellishments. And there was something else. The kits, that was it. Can't remember. And if you would purchase from my website for $60 or more, you can get half price for the kit. Or if you want just the PDF and the video, that's $15. So, like I said, tonight is the last for that, because I do have to order things and have them here before the 23rd. This is where you'll find it if you have my printout of the online exclusives. It is a suite that comes with all of this if you put one suite number in. Otherwise, you can buy them individually. And again, if you have any questions or if you want to look at purchasing any of those, please reach out to me and let me know. The hot foil system, get the name right, that's being introduced by Stampin' Up! There are some gorgeous samples floating around out there on Facebook for sure, YouTube. If you haven't seen them, give it a look, because there's lots there. So the kit will be available tonight after midnight. And this will be for Canada. This is the number 170009, 219 for all of this. And then your dies and your stamps. You've got a variety to buy, and you've also got the foil that you can buy there. So I have heard, I don't have it, so I can't vouch for that, but I have heard that it will not work in the Big Shot that we used to have. Stampin' Up! Retired that in 2009, I think it was. Quite a while ago anyway. And we didn't get the cut and emboss machine until 2020. So this is made to go with the new machine. I don't know much else about it, but I've read lots and I'm trying to keep up to date on it. So the other thing to share before we get started is the Stampin' Up! Product of the month for July is this one, the Begonia Bell, a 2-step stamping set. And that's on the way as well, so I will be sharing that eventually. And are we ready to start? I'm just going to look at messages. Maggie, you're still camping. That's good for you. I'm glad you're popping in to say hi. Yes, we miss you in our classes, but we understand you've got to take advantage of those summer days when you have them for sure. So the Framed Violet set is stamps and dies. A word of note, I will let you know, this die, if you stamp this out and then you want to cut it with this die, it only goes one way. If it doesn't fit right, turn it 180 degrees and use it the other way. Learned that by trial and error. This is my cheat sheet, as Lillian does. She trained me well. So we've got the 2 different die cuts. We've got stamped images that we can cut out. We've got other images. And I read that if you cut these, if you put this down and put this, it will show this right through the center, and you can highlight it with a rhinestone or whatever there. So let's get started. This card was where I watched it, and I know, Pam, you said you'd seen it many places, but I watched it with Wandering Stamper. I'm not sure where she's from, but these are the dimensions she had, and this is the card and how it pops up. Not as difficult as you might think. So let's get started. I'm going to not repeat all of these because I'd probably get them mixed up anyway. So I'm going to just tidy everything up and show you how to make it. That's for the front. This is one of the inside. This is my greeting. Don't want to lose those. These pieces form that little pop-up. So to start with, we have, I guess I should have kept those on there so I could tell you the exact where I am. No, I know what it is. I'm using Secret C, which unfortunately is kind of hard to see. It's our regular 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. And then I measured 1 inch on either side of that center score line, and then 1 inch down. And it's scored also. I don't know if I did it on this one. Let me back up. What she said to do was put it in at your 4 1/4 and score, start at 1 inch down and score all the way to the bottom. Then from that, the top of that score mark, you're going to have a V, score here and score here. And also 1 inch this way from the center, from our 4 1/4 all the way down. So if I can find a pencil, I'm going to, first of all, mark there, and then 1 inch on that side, and 1 inch on that side, and there's my center. And you can do it on your paper trimmer. I find it easier to use my bone folder, or there is an attachment for your, take your pick tool and just score it from there to there. I'm doing the wrong piece, you guys. No wonder I didn't have it marked. Let's forget that. Let's fold this and move it so that I don't. It's the inside piece, which is going to be easier to see on the purple. So let's do the same thing on this one. I've got it scored in the middle, 1 inch down, 1 inch across, and then I've scored from here to 1 inch there, and here to 1 inch on that side. And Pam, you lost your ruler from today? That's not good. Pam was with me at the Christmas card class today, and we were scoring the same way for one of the cards that we did. So now this piece is I think it was a 1/4 of an inch less. Yes, it was 5 1/4 this way and 8 1/4 this way. So it was scored in the middle, which is your, not 4 1/4, it would be whatever half of that is. I'm going to burnish it up to that point, which is the 1 inch mark. And then I'm also going to turn this 1 inch piece over and burnish it up to where those score lines are. And then gently fold those back. Actually, they will end up folding this way. Like so. Okay? Hello, Linda. Good to see you on here too. So I'm just going lining up my corners here and burnishing. And this is the inside piece, which causes that pop-up. So what we want to do before we put that in there is we're going to put this designer paper in and this piece to write on. And what she suggested, and I totally agree with her, is that we should do this before we put it inside this card base in case we have to redo it. Have any of you had to do that ever? Get something done part way and then, oh my gosh, it's not working. So what I'm going to do here is fold over on that one score line on that side, so it creases my designer paper. Hello, Marie. And then trim that off so that I'm going just a little bit on this side of the fold, so I can, in theory, have the same distance around all of that. So I'm going to put this, and if you go to look for, well, if my glue works, try this one and try not to get too much. Keep chatting with each other, keep sharing and caring, because we love the community we have. So there is my piece on the inside of there. Then this little piece over here, which was 1 1/8 by 1 1/8 cut diagonally, is used to fill in this little triangle here. And, oh. So yes, I see Marie saying that you've got sunshine but lots of wind. What's it like where everybody is? I saw there was a bit of a tornado in eastern Alberta with causing a lot of damage yesterday. Okay. So that fills that in. And then, because I had the other one left, I'm going to put it on this side. Well, try to. Because, I'll show you on this one while that one's drying. When your card is, you can see it there and there. I don't like this piece, but I noticed when I was looking at it afterwards, I didn't have it right over to this edge. So be aware and put it over that way, all the way, when you're doing, and I'm going to on this card too. Before I put this in, I am going to color some of it with some of my markers, because I think it looks better if it's colored. I used the dark for the green for these lines. Isn't it great that Stampin' Up! Gives us these lines to use for shading? Because I'm certainly not a great person for coloring. Although I like the end results with using the blends, that's for sure. And I tend to use the dark first and just go right over it like that. Give it a little bit of color. And we have blends and colors, just about all of the Stampin' Up! Colors. Some of them we don't have, and I've heard the reason for that is that some of the other colors are so close that why have two if you can get away with using one? And you could, of course, do these in whatever color you want. I am sticking with that was the Peaceful Pine for the green, and the, what have we got here, Highland Heather. I know in that paper, if you're used to matchy, anybody see that I missed this one? Whoops, don't want that in. The paper does not have Highland Heather. It has Gorgeous Grape in it, but when I was pulling colors together today, I decided that I liked this, and that's what I was going to use. And then the lighter Highland Heather, and I will use the brush tip, because you don't need to watch me color all night, but thank you for sticking with me and watching some of this. I just wanted a little bit of design on the inside, and for the outside it's strictly designer paper, so it won't take us long to put that together. The lady, and I don't remember her name, from Wandering Stamper that I watched, she actually stamped like this on the inside. She had one big stamp, and then she stamped on the front, and that was her focal point, not designer paper. But like I said before, I really like the designer paper in this Framed Violets or Violet Dreams, and I wanted to use it. You could use your shimmer brushes if you want. I don't have a violet one, of course, because it's only available in the new in colors. So I decided I would just do it this way. So are you with me, Pam? Anybody else that's crafting along with us? So there's our inside piece. So as usual, to put it in, we will put glue on one side. So yes, this one does take a little bit more cardstock than we're used to. But I think the result is pretty awesome. So I'm going to put it quite close to the edge over here, because my fold, I don't want it buckling when I fold it like that. So that edge, then of course the other half is just put your glue on this piece. And fold your card shut. And hold it there for a minute till it says thank you. I'm all stuck now. Linda, you find the markers pretty easy. Yes. I'm really not good on the shading, but I do like that Stampin' Up! Has given us those lines for that. So then for the front, I have a different piece of designer paper than this one, and a very narrow border. And I'm not using dimensionals on any of these because of the extra inside layer, which makes it a bit thick already. Thank you, Maggie. She's saying she likes my nails. I quite like treating myself that way. And then this goes on the front. And I had to, okay. Whoa. Obviously, a new bottle. Had to replace the blades on my paper trimmer today because I was getting rough edges. Do any of you have that happen? And what do you do about it? I'll show you what I have. And it's been around for a long time. I'm sure some of you who've been with Stampin' Up! For a while, it says snow block, but it's a sanding block. And if you have that happen, you just run it along the edges and your cardstock is good to go. So there is the front of my card, the inside. Before I do that, I'm going to put this on. I've used this from this set, the Phrases and Frames. That's the one that has the extra impressions plate. How many of you have used it? And do you like it? I quite enjoy it, and I watched a video today of one of the new hot foil plates being used as an embossing folder by using this, whatever it's called, impressions plate, which is just a piece of rubber. So I'm anxious to try that as well. Normally, what I would do with this piece would be use dimensionals, but like I said, I'm not going to, just because of the thickness. And that fits right in there because I used the same die to cut it out. So same card, looks totally different with different paper, doesn't it? And then for that fancy piece on the inside, again, I'm just going to use this. I do have a small change to show you afterwards. These layers are 1/8 of an inch between each layer. And this will all be in my email that goes out on Tuesdays. So if you're not on my email list, please sign up. You can see where to subscribe there on the bottom of the screen. And I send lots of tips. And whenever there is specials with Stampin' Up, I will send those out as well. Plus my classes. And like I say, tonight is the last for registering for this class with the violet sets, and for our monthly card one that we do, it's next Thursday. So registration ends today for that one. Everybody's welcome. If you want a PDF specifically for those classes, it is a charge of $10. So now this piece, to get it to stand up, we just have to attach it here. So to do that, let's just put your adhesive along here. And like I said, I'm going to move this one right to the edge this time and hope that it doesn't catch like that the other one does. So keep chatting, keep sharing. I'm glad you're here with me. And let's leave that one for a minute. So this one you can see. And Maggie, yes, hoping you'll be home for the Violets class. If not, I will do recordings and send them out. So that is all part and parcel of that package. So there is that one. And yes, it does go down better if you put it where you should. Purple is your fave. Well, Marie, maybe this one will be yours next week. So I moved it right over to the edge. I don't know if you can see that. On this one, there was a little bit that it wasn't over, and it did catch if I wasn't really watching. So then I did put some of the Peaceful Pine butterflies. Can't hardly see them. And I just used the little tiny ones because I thought there's enough showy things on the paper. And I'm just going to keep these all right here so you can see them. This particular one, I did put some on the paper, but the paper was lighter background. So you can do lots of different things. Oh, and then I was going to show you what this other... what Wandering Stamper did show in her card was an alternative to having... This is a punch out from some of that paper. You can also put something like that on here, as long as it's not going to reach down there when you've got it closed. So like you could put probably one of those big punch outs that's in that set, and then have it show up when you... I'm not going to put that one on, but just to give you the idea that you can attach things there. If you had something, a die cut, a special punch out like that. Okay, so I don't know if you like, let me know if you like the dark one or the light one, whichever. And as always, please let me know if there's any other card samples you'd like to see while I show you these that I have in my basket. I do have some card swaps that I will be sharing before too long from one of the groups that I was in. So last week in our Zoom with Friends, which happens every Friday, and I thank every one of you for joining me and for teaching with me. This card Pam showed us how to make, and it's an envelope card. We started with envelopes, as you can see here, and we made inserts to put in them. We decorated them with designer paper, and we had designer paper front and back. So as we quite often talk about in that class and in others, we have so much designer paper, let's use it. So isn't that neat? I think I might have to make an envelope to send that one too, but that's okay. I have an envelope punch board and I can do that. And tags, yes, Pam. Yes, you can put tags in here. Like there's more pockets here. You could put gift cards. You could put money. And then today in the class, we made Christmas cards. This one has a name that I can't pronounce now. Miura. Tammy White did show how to make it with a kickstand, she called this, so that it will stand up. Thought it was a great card once we figured out how to cut the designer paper. This one is a double Z fold, which most of you have probably seen, but I just love how easy it was in using more designer paper. And this one is a different one that I've never made before. It has a cut piece. Sorry, I was trying to avoid that. You cut it, you fold it down here and glue it. So it's a nice edge here, and then you just put this on to hold those two pieces together. We decided this one we could make a lot of if we were doing a mass production of cards. So good to see you chatting with each other. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope to see lots of you tomorrow on the Zoom one. We have another fancy fold we're doing there, which you should have already received information about. And we'll have fun crafting together and chatting there on our Zoom. And I hope you'll come back next week and join me on my live as well. Take care now. Bye.